completely knocked this out of the park. What's up, beautiful people? Nathan Clark, Domination Nation. Hey, I got to show you this really cool piece. One of the many refurbs I've did recently. I am so freaking stoked. So I was stewing and stewing about this for months, trying to figure out if I could make it work. Took a chance, and it just absolutely feels freaking phenomenal. So I'm going to show you guys the modified Southern Exercise True Pull Bicep. So there's a Southern Exercise True Pull regular. You can see I've modified the handles there too. But this thing is on another level now. Another video on here from years ago. I've had this for a while. Follow the link above. But what I did was a couple things. This is the original bar right here, made specifically for biceps. I'll show you in a second how the arc of motion is such that it goes out and then it comes in. So it's a perfect arc for biceps, but I knew it was a perfect arc for like a high row pull down movement if I could figure out the handle angle. So check this out. So what we did was we welded a long angle this way for a neutral grip. We welded another angle down here, and I welded another angle here. So I'm going to show you this really cool thing. I can do actually infinite number of pull down variations or high row variations. The other thing I did was I welded another weight horn. This is the original one right here. There's only a weight horn on one side, which just didn't really make any sense. So I kind of added an equal weight horn on this. Now, one of the things I love about this line is the leverage. It's the most overdone, unique, amazing feeling leverage, other than maybe one other company that makes leverage machines. But it's so freaking awesome. If I could figure out a way to like create handles or angles to allow me to do a pull down and a high row variation with this leverage, it would be freaking unreal. And let me tell you guys, it's unreal. What's up, beautiful people? So don't mind my sun-stained black shirt. I left it out in the sun. That's what UV light does to black shirts. Not good, but I still like the feel of the shirt, so I wore it anyways. But this is the traditional way to use the machine. I've always loved this machine because it's got a unique feel and there's a unique contraction to it. So I've always loved doing this particular movement with time under tension. So I usually stick a bunch of weight on there, focus on really long negatives, and shoot for like 90 seconds or more of a time under tension type of technique. There's multiple different ways you can use it, but this is the original way to use the machine. I kind of lean into it and then just do a slow negative. It's a crazy, you get a crazy amount of fatigue and tension in the muscle, which is just totally unique. You know, instead of doing underhand pull-ups, this is the alternative to do a controlled underhand pull-up that's bicep focused. So, all right, so now I'm going to show you some of the movements you can do with the added welded arms I put on here. So this is the traditional neutral handle. Pulled on, you can see, look at the way the machine arcs. So it's got literally 4 different joints. So there's such a unique feel to these Southern Exercise machines, and they're so freaking overbuilt. So this is the high row handle. So the idea is the arms are kind of finishing in front of me, and my elbows are finishing more, and my wrists are finishing more towards my waist than sort of towards the mid back. So this is more of the traditional pull down movement. You lean into it. Again, I'm going to show you facing out to facing in, but it's a really cool, unique feel. Just a phenomenal stretch and just a really cool contraction. Here's just another angle. So you have to kind of sit out from the machine a little bit. So those of you who haven't used these machines, there's foot actuated lever that kind of acts like a pre-stretched foot lever, where your body has to be hitting that lever. If it doesn't, it locks the machine in place. That's how all these movements are made. Now I noticed Watson out of the UK has actually remade this machine without the foot actuated lever. I wouldn't suggest this machine without the foot actuated lever. I don't know what they're thinking, because that's one of the beauties of this, is being able to start where you can grab it and not have to reach up. All right, so check it out. With these holes that I drilled, if you've seen a lot of my other videos, you know I love these handles, these Medix handles. You see how I can just put it in here on some washers and it freely rotates? It's going to give me perfect range of motion to allow me to stimulate the lats and allow my hands to go in ulnar and deviation. So I've been using this technique with a lot of my machines where I just drill a 1/2-inch hole and use these Medix handles. I can't tell you how good this thing feels sliding on the shoulder bolt, because there's free range of motion with a open palm thumbless grip, going into the allowing your hand to rotate freely really does give you that extra stimulation of the lat. For those of you who've never used the Medix handles in any setting, there's just a magic about these handles. So I drilled a 1/2-inch hole. You can see in two different spots, one up top and one below. I'll show you kind of both movements. So I'm just playing around with doing it facing out to facing in. So this is facing in, kneeling in front of the machine. I actually find this feels phenomenal. It kind of feels like the Medix selectorized torso arm when I showed you with these handles, with the foot lever I have. But I like the leverage on this better. It doesn't have the Medix weight stack, obviously, but it's just a cool alternative. So again, showing you these Medix handles. Lots of cool other machines I've done this to. Now this actually is surprisingly good, amazingly good. Just regular D handles. This actually blew up my lats when I was playing around with this. Doing from seating to facing out. The cool thing with this machine is it has a seat belt. If you haven't, I didn't show you before, the seat belt just locks you in really well. But the D handles give you a little bit of extra free range of motion, and then the D handles facing towards the machine. But I was honestly very surprised with how amazing this felt. Again, I'm just using that 1/2-inch hole I drilled and sticking a bolt in there. This is another angle. Just a phenomenal pull down movement. Again, anything I could do to utilize the leverage of this machine to mimic other movements was the main objective. So these are some raw motive work handles I got not too long ago. Kind of cool. They're kind of like the hog-leg handles, sort of a mix between that and the Prime Fitness handles. So I'm just kind of playing around with these handles instead, facing in and facing out. All right, so one of the reasons I put these bottom angled handles was I wanted to do this movement here, the flex leverage on steroids. So this is obviously the famous flex leverage movement. The beauty of this is the built-in arc of this machine, in addition to these handles, makes this a far superior feel and movement to the original flex leverage. The leverage on this system just blows away the flex line leverage. It really does. So I mean, I can't imagine what these things cost to make back in the day because they're like tanks, but it would be really cool to, I'd love to figure out a way to remake these with my own improvs, just because the leverage line is so sophisticated. Now, honestly, this right here was probably one of my favorite movements from this machine. The old school pull down behind the head. I used to do these in high school. They told you they were bad. They're full of crap. It's just a really cool way to hit the upper part of the back, the teres especially, and just hold that peak contraction. This was probably my top movement from this machine, other than using the D handles and the built-in handles I had. So just an awesome movement. Unfortunately, not done as much anymore. I don't know why people have frowned upon the behind the head pull downs, just because they hit the back in such a unique way. I honestly have missed doing these, but this is going to become a staple in my routine now, this movement on this machine. So again, I can't express how fortunate I am, grateful that this thing turned out. I've done other mods where I've kind of and I've had to tweak it 2 or 3 times. This one, I just played around with the angles, and I just figured it out. It feels just unreal. If I were an equipment manufacturer, I would totally freaking mass produce that thing. It would be one of the best pull down high roll movements on the market, in addition to being a very, very unique bicep movement. Domination Nation Jim, until next time.